Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world under the sound of my voice. YouTube, we back with some more Yapponomics. This is your friendly neighborhood yapper, here to do some more of what I love to do best. I don't know how many Americans listening to this, but you ever think about the fact that there are jobs in the government that people have held forever and they're gonna hold forever, like lifetime jobs in the government? That's a thing. Like there are people who have been like alive since Jim Crow laws and they still make laws in our country. People who've been alive since women's suffrage and they still are like making laws in our government. Our country's not that old as far as countries go. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty young, respectfully. I got some hold on, I got some numbers real quick.
Or you're trying to make Chris.
That's a lot of beeping. Let me see. I feel like it's like 58 years and 100 years, or 100 years and 58. It's something like that. Let me see. Uh, okay. Right here. And then we slide down. Okay, so slavery was abolished in 1865. Jim Crow style laws lasted until 1965. So it was 100 years from slavery and 58 years from Jim Crow laws, right? Women's suffrage was 1920. So like respectfully, a lot of this stuff wasn't, that long ago in the terms of how old our country is. We got senators who are 90, 82, 81, 80, 79, 79, 78, and like anybody over 60 years old, 60 and up, like you lived through the worst times in our country, like, and that's where your mindset, that's where you got it from, that's where you got your thoughts and beliefs from. Like you was raised by people older than that and they was raised by people. It's about, so you're not that many generations removed from hating, people just because. I'm not saying they do, I'm just saying, what are the odds, you know what I mean? Like there are 90-year old senators, not crazy. Like you might not live to see the next 20 years, but you making laws that are gonna last at least 30. I think that's kind of crazy. But again, I just be thinking about stuff. They making laws when they mindset is, it might not, they might, hopefully they don't have none of them issues, but like they might still, they sometimes every Thursday they wake up, they might think is, they might think they still back there every Thursday. You don't know. We don't know what's happening, is all I'm saying. I just think it's kind of crazy that there are lifetime jobs in the government. I think that's kind of wild. It, like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and a leopard never changes its spots and things of that nature. That's what they say. I don't know who they are, but they say it. I've heard it before. Again, I'm just saying. I think that's kind of crazy that you could keep a job in the government forever. You know, 100 years in the terms of how long a country's been around is not that long. Is all I'm saying. 1965 is not that long ago. You know some people alive today that was alive in 1965, and they agreed with the laws that was, they agreed with everything that was going on. Remember, I don't know if y'all seen not too long ago a picture of Jerry Jones, the Cowboys guy. He was trying to keep schools from being, he's trying to keep schools segregated. He ain't want no, let's just say the players that play on his football team, he ain't want to go to school with them. I'm just saying. But again, I just be yapping. I just be saying stuff. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but in my brain, I was thinking one day, like, wow, the country's really, like, as far as countries go, nations as they will, America's like a baby. You feel me? So, like, the problems we have, I feel like, it makes sense for a baby country to have these problems. That's just me thinking though. We was a part of another country, came over here, land stuff happened, stealing, snatching. Let me grab that from you. Now we live here too. Then we didn't like what was, no taxation without representation. Tea parties, revolutionaries, civils. All that stuff is the history of our country. And it's not that long ago in the terms of a country. Like, I understand, oh, that's mad. It is. But also, it's not when you think about how long a country's been around. Because there are a lot of nations that have been around for time. You know what I mean? Like, biblical time. They've been a country since, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that's happening over there in that one place, Abraham's children having that dispute, that's biblical times. They've been around forever. Like, I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Stone Age. America ain't been around since the Stone Age, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Listen, again, I'm just yapping. You could say I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. Because maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe America has been around since the Stone Age. They just didn't want us to know that. That's another conversation for another time. I don't think that's what happened. I mean, all I can go on is the history books. You know what I'm saying? Revolutionaries, you know what I'm saying? The Mayflower, all that stuff. Pilgrims, blah, blah, blah. So we going off that being the truth. America ain't been around that long. You know what I'm saying? It's a baby country. So having some problems, that makes sense. I'm just saying the fact that there's government jobs, like you could be a senator at the age of 35 and you'll still be a senator at the age of 97. In a country that's progressive and we're moving forward and ideals change and we're really fluid as a country, in my opinion, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe the whole smortion stuff, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what, brought this thought about. Like, because I feel like that's an old way of thinking. Like, you going back to telling me, nah, you can't stir fry that over here. You know what I mean? You got to have that baby. You got to. You don't get a choice. I feel like that's an old way of thinking. I don't know how that, how that slipped through the cracks. Like, now you just telling people what they can and can't do with their body again. But, you know what I'm saying? So you telling women that they gotta do this or they gotta do that. And then you would look me in the face as a parent and be like, oh, if your daughter wanna transition, she got to and you can't stop. Like, why y'all got so much control over people's bodies? That's another conversation for another time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I think it's kind of crazy that you could be in a government job forever. Because if you got the mentality of 1920, you shouldn't still be a senator, in my opinion, in 2023. You telling me a 90-year-old man he no longer thinks the way he did when he was, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. But that's just me. Again, that's just me. I could be totally wrong. But am I? That's for you to judge. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not judge. Maybe you just listen and be like, oh, he got a good point. The president, he only get 4 years. Why senators there forever? Don't senators, they actually, like the Senate, you know what I'm saying, the legislative process, I feel like they have a bigger job in making laws than a president does. Sometimes I feel like the president in America is like the queen in England. Like, he's just a figurehead. That's how I feel. That's how I feel sometimes, Especially with the one we got now, because sometimes he looks like an action figure. Like, they just up there posing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it feels like he be in the middle of a sentence and then he wakes up. I don't. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just yapping. Don't judge. I'm just saying, sometimes it look like he be in the middle of talking and then he wakes up. You know? But again, I'm just thinking out loud. Like, if you was 90, if you're 90 now, that means you was raised by someone who lived in a darker age in America's history, I'll say. I'm not saying you took all their ideals, because I didn't take all the ideals of mine, but back in those days, everybody, they was either letting stuff slide or they thought the same. Those are the only two options. You either thought what was happening was cool, or you was just like, I'm not going to say anything because everybody's doing it. Both are corny, but I'm just saying, like, should you be making laws now if you agreed with what was happening? I don't think so. I don't know. Thinking about the government is weird sometimes because, again, the country's not that old. Very young country. A lot of countries older than our country on this globe. Like, a lot of them. And we all got problems, But sometimes you got to think about it. Because I feel like in America, for the majority of Americans, we live in life. We don't got time to think about this stuff. But I just got off work at 7 a.m., so I had nothing but time. And this is what I was thinking about. I don't know why. Like, imagine me at the age of 90. How different are my thoughts going to be when I'm 90? I feel like the stuff I believe now at the age of 34, I don't know how much of it is going to change. I don't know how much of it someone is going to be able to change how I feel about certain things in the world. And, And then when you've been in power for that long, 90, if you was a senator at the age of 40 and you're 90 now, it's 30 and you're 90 now, 40 and you're 70, 30 years, 50 years doing that job, who could really tell you something and make you change your mind? I don't know. I don't think an 80-year-old or a 90-year-old should be driving, let alone making rules for the government. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, man. I feel like after 60, they should make you take the driver's test every 2 years. Because, like, have you ever seen them on the road? I'm sorry. I'll stop. But again, I'm just saying, at the age of 90 in 2023, do you really think you have the ideals to push this country forward in the direction that the people who will be living in the years that the rules you're making are going to affect? Do you think you can do that? I remember when I was growing up, my mother's ideals, they were not the best. I told y'all, my mother took me out of ballet because she thought it was going to make me gay. Now imagine me saying that to my kid today. The world would crucify me, right? You see what I mean? How that sounds crazy today, but in 1998, that sounded perfectly fine to my mother. You're not doing ballet no more. You're going to be gay. I don't think that's how gay works. Me personally. And ballet tech was some of the most ungay times I had in my life, respectfully. You ever lift... You know what? I'm not even going to talk about leotards and lifting girls. And it was a good time. Let's just say I was definitely not going to be gay. Okay? All right. But that's all I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff that people thought and believed in the past that I don't know if they don't feel that way today. If you're 80 years old, you grew up when, it was okay to do and say certain stuff. And at 80 years old, today making rules in the government, I don't know. I like to be a fly on the wall in some of these people's houses, man. Like, we got a lot of really old government officials, like really old. I'm talking about Jim Crow, Willie Lynch letter, the women's suffrage old. And I would like to just, be able to pick their brains, talk to them. Are they all there? I don't know. Because, have you seen the president? No disrespect, but it's just sometimes it feels like he just woke up. And like you in the middle of conversation. Huh? Huh? You ever seen Homer Simpson's dad? He be like he be awake and then he wake up. Like, all right, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm an American, okay? And this country was built on people speaking their ideals. It's how it happened. Somebody was like, yo, why they taxing us over there and we don't even get no representation in parliament? I'm not saying that I don't get representation in parliament. I'm just saying we should look at the representation that we get in Congress a little bit. Take a deep dive. They've been doing it for 50 years. He's 90. He's 81. He's 70. I'm just saying, should they be making laws that are going to last for years that they might not see? That's neither here nor there, even though it's both here and there. But hey, I just was thinking out loud, I don't know. I need to get that off my chest. Thank y'all for listening. I'm saying, wherever you are in the world, under the sound of my voice, tell somebody in your family you love them. Take a shower. Have a good day. And just think about it, right? Don't think about what I said. You could think about what I said, but don't think about what I said. But think about it. Whatever it is. Take a minute and just think. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people don't think enough. But other than that, y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all next time. Like and subscribe. You heard like and subscribe. I be forgetting to do the YouTube thing sometimes. But the likes and subscribes and sharing with your friends, it'll really help. Yapponomics, you know what I'm saying? Also, I have an older series, talk about it joint. I'm going to make a playlist if y'all want to check those out. Really cool videos. I've been yapping for a long time. But as I said, y'all have a good day. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all.